Okay, this is the U5F CTM review. This is the second F, so I'll call this F2 because the other one's U5F also. So first thing you do is simplify these so that you can add them. Right now they're not like radicals, but off to the side, if you did a factor tree, you'll see that you have two 2's. So this is 2 square root of 3, and then 48 is 2 and 24, 2 and 12, 2 and 6, 2 and 3. You got a pair of 2's, another pair of 2's. So you're bringing out 2 times 2, you're bringing out a 4 radical 3. So when you add these two, you only add the number out front. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2 radical 3. That's your answer. 18's factor tree, 2 and 9, 3 and 3. This time you have 2 3's. Now in this one, you already have a 3 out here, and you're bringing another 3 out here. So it's going to look like this. 3 times 3 times square root of 2. And then 50 is 2 and 25. It's 5 and 5, so you're bringing a 5 out. So in this one, you already had a 5, but you're bringing another 5. So this becomes 9 square root of 2 minus 25 square root of 2, which is negative 16 square root of 2. Because you add the 9 minus 25 is negative 16. This one right here, you've got some like terms already. So there's a 1 here. So 1 plus 6 is 7 square root of 2. This one is a 1, negative 1, and 4 is 3 square root of 11. If you guys want to get started on your worksheet early, it's right here. I'm making a video for it right now. 4. This one is already simplified. This one is cube root. Oh, these are cube roots. So cube root of 16. So we're looking for 3 of the same factors. So you'll notice you have 4 2's. So I'm going to circle 3 of them. This 2 is going to come out, but you've already got an 8 out here. So that's 8 times 2, which is 16. Cube root of this 2 right here, that's by itself. And then 54 is 2 and 27, 3 and 9, 3 and 3. So in these, notice there's 3 3's. So that 3 is going to come out with the 2 that's already out here. So it's 2 times this 3, which is negative 6 cube root of 2. So notice they're all cube roots of 2. So your answer is something cube root of 2. Add 7 and 16, which is, what, 23? Minus 6 is 17. Number 5, you need to have a common denominator. So a common multiple of 7 and 5 is 35. So what would you have to multiply to 7 to get 35? That is 5. So whatever you do at the bottom, you have to do to the top. So this is 5 square root of 2. On the second fraction, how many times is 5 going to 35? That is 7. So multiply the top by 7, and that gives you 42 radical 2. When you have two fractions that have a common denominator, you write one fraction with that common denominator. You don't add these. It is 30 something over 35, but you're going to add the numerators. So 5 and 42 is 47 square root of 2, because those are like radicals. And that's your answer. So number 6. Basically, I'm going to split these up like this. 25 is a perfect square. I don't need a factor tree because that is a perfect square. So that is 5 square root of x. Square root of 16 is 4 square root of x. So that's a perfect square. So the answer is 9. Oops, 9 square root of x. Now we're going to multiply. So we're first distributing. Now when you multiply, you can multiply the numbers underneath the radical. They don't have to be the same. So square root of 2 times square root of 3 is square root of 6. Square root of 2 times square root of 7 is square root of 14. Now 6 is just 2 times 3, so there's not 2 of the same thing, so that is simplified. And 14 is 2 times 7. There is not 2 factors that are the same, so that is simplified. You cannot add those because they're not like. This one you're going to distribute 4 radical 3 with these two. Now you have some outside numbers here. So 4 times 2 you're allowed to multiply. And then you can multiply the numbers underneath the radical. So that's 15. So the first answer is 8 radical 15 plus. Now you're distributing 4 radical 3 with 3 radical 7. So multiply your outside numbers, 4 times 3. And then multiply your inside numbers, 3 and 7. You would try to simplify if you can. 15's factor tree is 3 and 5. That cannot be simplified. And 21 is 3 and 7. You cannot simplify this. These are not like radicals. That is your answer. Distributing again. Radical 2x times radical 6x is radical 12x squared minus radical 2x times this. Now, on this one, the 3 is on the outside, so it stays on the outside. But the 2x and the x become 2x squared. So to simplify this, 12 is 2 and 6, which is 2 and 3. So you have 2 2's. So a 2 comes out. But you also have to know with exponents that you divide. This is a perfect square because it's even. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So you're bringing an x out. That's because there are 2 x's here. So 1 comes out. None left over. The only thing that's going to be left under the radical is the 3. That's it. And this one, you can't do anything with the 2, so it's still going to be a 3. But again, this x squared is really x and x, so one of them comes out. So this is square root of 2. You cannot add these because this 2 and 3 are not the same. So they're not like radicals, so that's your answer. Number 9 is 36 cube root of 27 plus, distribute this, 4 times 7 is 28 cube root of 21. So right now they're not like radicals, but we can maybe simplify this. 27 is 3 and 9, which is 3 and 3. Now notice this is a cube root. There are 3 of the same number here. So a 3, this whole thing's going to cancel. So this is really 36 times 3, which is 108. No radical. And then 21 is just 3 and 7. That cannot be simplified. So it's 108 plus 28 cube root of 21. That's your answer. You cannot add these because this has a radical and this one does not. Okay, next one. We're foiling, but these are conjugates. So when you have conjugates, you really only have to do first and last because your outside and inside will cancel, but I'm still going to do all the FOIL just to show you that. Radical 7 is radical 49, which is 7 because there's 2 7s, so 1 comes out. Radical 7 times radical 5 is negative radical 35. Now your inner term, you're multiplying radical 5 times this is radical 35, and radical 5 times negative radical 5 is negative 5. Radical 5 and radical 5 is radical 25, which is 5. So these cancel, which they always will with conjugates, and 7 minus 5 is 2. So 11 when we FOIL, square root of x times square root of x is x. These are conjugates also. So with conjugates, you only have to do first and last. And that's minus y, and that's your answer. Your inner and your outer would have canceled. These are both of these are conjugates. When you have conjugates, multiply first terms, last terms. On the back, you're going to rationalize. So to get rid of a radical 7, you want to multiply by radical 7. So on the top, you get radical 21. On the bottom, you get radical 49, which is 7. You are not allowed to cancel these because this one has a radical. And 21 cannot be simplified, so that's your answer. This one, you're not allowed to have a fraction under radical, so split them up. Now rationalize. Multiply by radical 13. So this is square root of 65 over 13. That's your answer, because 65 is just 5 and 13. You can't do anything to it. Now to get rid of a cube root, you have to change this to a cube. So it's a 3 in there, so that means I need 3 3s. So you're really going to do 2 more 3s, which is really a 9 cube root of 9. So whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. We're multiplying by the cube root of 9 so that we have 3 3's. So if you have 3 3's on the bottom with the cube root, your bottom number is just pull one of them out. On the top, you just have 2 cube root of 9, and that is your answer. For those who just came in, here's a review that we're doing today. Mimi, here's a review we're doing today. So 15, to rationalize, you multiply both top and bottom by square root of 5. You get negative 10 radical 15 over 5. Then, because these are both on the outside, you can reduce. 5 goes in negative 10, negative 2 times. So this is your answer. To rationalize a denominator that has a number and a variable, you got to get 2 parts. So you have a 1 5. We need 2 5's, 1 will come out. You also need an x. 2 x's, 1 will come out. So that bottom number would be 5x. But whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So the top is just 8 square root of 5x. And that's your answer. Now with the fourth root, I'm going to split this up. First, punch that in your calculator. When you punch that in your calculator, you should get 3. So we need to multiply by the fourth root of, we have 1, 2 right now. I need 4 2's. So I'm going to do 2, 2, and 2, which is really 8. And I have x to the 9th right now. So if you have x to the 9th, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's one group of 4. That's one group of 4. So 9 means you're 1 out. So in order to make this whole radical go away, I need 3 more x's. So I'm going to do 3 more x's over here. So that's really 8x cubed is what I'm multiplying by. So the top is 3 times the fourth root of 8x cubed. The bottom is the fourth root of 4 2's. So we had this one and this one. We have 4 2's. And then we have 9 and 3 more x's. So we have a total of 12 x's. Which means that your answer, you're going to take a 2 out. And you're going to take 12 divided by 4 is 3. And you're going to take 3 x's out. Because there's 3 groupings. 1, 2, and then this grouping. And that's your answer. If you just came in, here's your review for today. I have 3 more questions for the video, and I'm going to be posting it. To rationalize this denominator, it's 1 plus square root of 3 and 1 plus square root of 3. You multiply by the conjugate. Multiply by the conjugate to get rid of a radical that is part of a difference or a sum. So here's its conjugate. So on the top, we distribute. You get 8 plus 8 square root of 3. And on the bottom, with conjugates, only have to do first and last. So 1 times 1 is 1 minus radical 3 times radical 3 is 3. So it's 8 plus 8 square root of 3 over negative 2. Yeah, I already marked you absent from the first part of today, though. So this is negative 4. Divide this. This is negative 4. And that's your answer. So what's the conjugate of this? If you just came in, here's your review. Square root of x minus 3. Square root of x minus 3. Distribute. Get that. On the bottom, you have to do first and last. Radical x and radical x is x. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. That's your answer. And 20. The conjugate of this is radical a plus radical b.
Some of you have already started doing your attendance for bond freeze, but
Distribute.
technically some of the kids are still coming in since we're doing them at 9:55. We have a lot of seniors that have rolled in. So could you please redo your attendance? Thank you ever so much.
And then on the bottom, you just have to do first and last. So a times a is a minus b times b is b. And that is your answer. And then to simplify this, 16 is really 4 2's. X to the 5th is really 5 x's. And then you have a y over the cube root of 3 and z. To get rid of this denominator, you need to multiply by 2 more 3's and 2 more z's. So on the bottom, you have a total of 3 3's. It's cube root of 3 3's, so 1 3 comes out. You also have 3 z's, so 1 z comes out. And then on the top, you have a group of 2, so a 2 comes out. You have 3 x's, so an x comes out. That's it. So the rest of it is cube root of, what's left? 2 x squared. Actually, wait a minute. We have a 2 and we have 2 3's. So it's 2 times, 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18. This is going to be 18. And then you have 2 x's, you have a y, and you have a z squared.